Hey guys!
It's John and Shannon from ThatDIYCouple, and we are doing a special to thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. Awesome.
Thank you so much. We never thought we'd get here. I'm just totally unprepared.
1,000 subscribers in the context of YouTube is not a lot. Like, just statistically, you're probably subscribed to creators that have a lot more subscribers than we do. But in another way, if you think about it, if there were 1,000 people in a room that said that they had all watched a video that I had been in, or like firmly subscribed to something that I made, that would be
a
like
big room.
A ton of people, and would be very kind of frightening to present in front of. So we're almost to 2,000 subscribers right now, which I think is totally crazy. But what we want to do is answer some questions that we have gotten and just other questions about us.
And to just thank you so much for joining us on our journey and for commenting and engaging. We really appreciate you.
It's been super fun. We started this channel in about 8 months ago with really no pretensions or expectations about what would happen, and it's been really, 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 really awesome so far. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
So the first question is, where are you from?
I'm from Arizona.
I am from Tampa, Florida, and I grew up there. My family is there, and I moved from Tampa when I was 18 to go to college. And you were in Phoenix until you were 15?
When I moved to go to prep school.
The second question that we get all the time is, what do you do for a living? Because obviously we don't do, or it is the case that we don't do YouTube full-time. We both have full-time jobs. So what do you do for a living?
I work as a lawyer at a large company in New York City.
And I'm also a lawyer by education and experience, though I don't practice law full-time. I run my own real estate investing company in the greater New York City area. I also used to run tech startups for about 4 or 5 years. And in addition to the real estate investing company, I have a property management company, I have a small construction company, and I also still do legal and consulting work on the side. So
He's a busy
I'm generally
bee.
pretty busy.
He's always working.
Another question that we sometimes get is, where do we go to school? So we both went to Yale for college. We actually met there, and we graduated and both went to 2 different law schools.
So yeah, Yale was an amazing experience. If you guys are interested in learning more about what it was like to study at Yale, we'd be happy to make a video about that. It was really just an absolute privilege to get to spend 4 years there.
And we met each other, which is the best thing.
We met each other, which is the best thing.
Another question that we get is, where do we live? So we live in the greater New York City area. We moved here pretty much after we graduated from school.
Yeah, so we were working in New York City, and we were renting in the city for a period of time, but because we didn't want to spend a ton of money on rent, we looked for foreclosures in the area outside of New York, which had the added benefit of allowing us to save money on the city tax. There's a tax that you have to pay if you live in New York City.
In Manhattan. And
you get way more bang for your buck living outside of the city, both in terms of price per square foot and cost of living, but also not having to pay that huge hefty tax. We had a huge spreadsheet of good school districts and set up Google alerts to try to get a good deal on a foreclosure in a good school district within an easy commute of work for us. And if you guys are interested, we could make another video about how we chose our house. But we love where we live.
A question that we get sometimes is, how old are you? So we're both in our early 30s.
Yeah, and we celebrate our birthdays within a week of each other. And so we like to have a joint birthday party. It's been a lot of fun over the year. Another question that we often get is whether or not we have any children. And the answer is no, we don't have any children, but we love children, and we're looking forward to starting a family in the next couple of years.
We do volunteers, we've mentioned in some other videos, with a great group called Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it's been a really rewarding part of our lives. We mentor a young kid, and it's been awesome. We started relatively recently, and we
strongly recommend that
really recommend the program. If you have one near you, you probably do. Check them out. They do great stuff. If you can't actually mentor, I highly recommend donating to them. They really, really are great. Another question we get is, who are our dogs? Do we have any pets? I think it's obvious that we do have pets because they appear in many of our videos, but we have 2 dogs and 2 cats.
So we'll introduce you to the cats first. But the dogs are named after presidents, and the cats are named after dictators.
Or quasi-dictators quasi-dictators. So depending on your political leanings, you may not consider them to be dictators. But this is Hugo, either way. You can guess for what quasi-dictator
Hugo came
be.
with this name. We didn't change his name. Let me put him up in the camera. Let's say hi, Hugo.
Hugo's
the best cat ever.
About 4. We're not entirely sure. He is an orange tabby. He is really affectionate and sweet, and he gets along really well with all of our other animals.
He's really chill. This one's going to be a little more dangerous. This is our rescue cat. This is our rescue cat, Ben. He looks a lot like Hugo, but he's probably like triple his age. We think he's around 12. We rescued him from the streets of our neighborhood. He was really sick and wasn't doing super well. It's a thyroid issue.
Now he's doing really great. He's integrated with our family, our other animals, and
sort of.
I would say he has.
He's 85% there.
He's a little bit fussy, but he's affectionate when he wants to be, and he doesn't like being held. So
he doesn't like having his ear touched.
I know. All right.
He did pretty good.
He did okay. Now for a significant change of pace from our cats, our 2 dogs. So how about come on.
Yes.
So we have Ted and George.
Sorry.
Gosh. Okay. This is George that I'm holding.
This is Ted.
And they are both golden doodles. They're both about 7. We got them as puppies. They look very similar, and that's because they have the same dad and different moms.
Do you see the resemblance?
They're about 6.
Do you see the resemblance?
Well, no, like 3 or 4 months apart from each other. And although they look similar, they couldn't be more different personality-wise. Ted, this guy, is
how calm he is?
Very calm. You can do whatever you want with him. George is very, very needy and a little anxious and just needs to be touched at all times.
Ted is like, he's got his own stuff going on. He could take you or leave you. He's all right.
George just requires attention at all times. He gets very jealous. So if we're petting Ted, George just absolutely has to be part of the picture.
George. He's also a kiss on the first date type guy.
He really is.
He's a face licker.
They're a big part of our lives in our family.
He's a good boy.
And we will. They'll certainly be making cameo appearances in future videos. Maybe we'll do a video about them. If you guys are interested in getting a golden doodle, they're a super, super great dog. We love them very much.
Yeah, one of the things that people typically ask me is, how long have you had these humans? They're expensive, but it's worth it.
Another question that we get is whether or not we are really tall, and the answer is yes, we are enormous. I'm about 6'1.5" inches, and John is...
I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
So that is, I think I'm in like the 99-ish percentile for men, but Shannon is in the like 99.9999 percentile for women. So
I'm a giant.
I sometimes will see men that are taller than me, but I've almost never seen a woman who's taller than Shannon.
When we see women that are taller than me, it's like a sighting. It happens like once every couple of years. It's like, oh, like there she is! Like, get out the camera.
Yeah.
And I have really big feet as a result of that. I wear a size 12 shoe.
I have a sort of...
Although my foot has shrunk.
I have like a misshapen body, I guess.
Yeah.
So I have normal, like, somewhat tall legs. I have like the legs of someone who's maybe like 6 feet tall, which is still pretty tall. But then my torso is just like 5 inches longer.
It's long.
So I have a hard time getting shirts that fit me. I have an easy time getting pants that fit me.
Man in a little coat.
Pretty much like that.
It's hard to buy John clothing.
It was really harder when I was heavier too. Actually, no, it was easier when I was heavier because I could just get like extra large stuff.
Just do like the apron.
Yeah.
Another question is, what's our favorite band or music? And I'm gonna have to say that Billy Joel is probably my all-time favorite artist in English, and Shakira is probably my favorite artist in Spanish. And we recently saw Shakira in concert, and it was so wonderful. It was so moving. I really love Shakira.
Yeah, and my favorite band is probably Pink Floyd, which is definitely a holdover from like my high school days when everyone kind of like angsty and a teenager was listening to Pink Floyd. But my favorite genre of music is definitely classic rock. I also really like 80s music a lot. So I don't know if I have a super favorite band, but I enjoy a lot of classic rock type music.
We both really like 80s music so much that we threw a 80s themed wedding, and John proposed to me using a montage of like our childhoods in tandem with 80s music as the background. It was awesome.
We are children of the 80s, if you will. Question that I got is, what was your favorite subject in school? And that's a hard question because I liked a lot of stuff in school, but when I graduated from high school, I really thought I was going to be a physics major, but in college, but I ended up not doing that at all. So I was actually a history major at Yale, and I then went to law school and studied lots of liberal arts stuff. So probably my favorite subject was history, but I studied a lot of different stuff in high school and in college, and I really liked learning different things about different subjects.
My favorite subject was definitely history all along. I really loved history, like especially like 6th, 7th grade, and then again in high school, kind of having your mind blown. One of my favorite memories is studying abroad in Spain and taking a history of Spain class in Spanish, and just concurrently taking a history of art class, and having those two things sort of really meld together in my mind, and like just amazing depth and breadth of knowledge that you can get from studying history. So another question that we've gotten is what our favorite book is. And I think if you've been following on the channel, you probably know that my current favorite book is a book called Bright Line Eating, which I did a pretty thorough review of, which I can link to because it's just absolutely revolutionized my life and helped me lose a lot of weight.
I don't really know if I have a favorite book. I like reading a lot of nonfiction and biographies. So I've read a ton of presidential biographies of interesting people. I don't really read that much, though.
Well, you read all the time. You just read on the internet.
Yeah, I don't read books, I guess. I don't read, like, physical books. And
I would say John's favorite book is Wikipedia.
Yeah.
John's a big consumer
I'm a big consumer of Wikipedia.
Encyclopedic knowledge of just reading through about interesting topics.
Yeah, I'll go down, like, Wikipedia holes. So sometimes I'll search for something, and then, like, half an hour later, I'll be like reading about some like obscure king of some obscure, Holy Roman Empire type nation state, proto-nation state thing, and I'll just have no idea how I got there.
Right.
But that happens.
It's like if he accidentally leaves his computer logged on, or he's like logged into my phone somehow, just the open tabs on Wikipedia are just amazing to go through. There's like, it's like, how did you end up reading about this Habsburg king? Like, tell me about him.
Well, the Habsburg kings are very important.
Yeah.
Those aren't obscure. That's legit. That's like legit knowledge. Why the name ThatDIYCouple for our YouTube channel? What do you think?
Well, it came to me while we were having brunch, and I was like, I can't believe this hasn't been taken. It just seemed like a really good name. And it also seemed really to embody how we approach life. Like, we're just trying to figure things out. We don't have all the answers. We're trying to figure out on our own, like, health and wealth and happiness and what's important to us, what's not important to us. And we're kind of learning by trial and error.
Yeah, for me, it's... I think when you conceive of DIY, you sort of think of people like building their own tables or something like that, and that's not really what we do. I've never built my own table. That sounds fun. But a lot of it for me is learning a lot about a lot of different subjects. So for my life, I feel like I not really a super expert in any one subject. I mean, maybe compared to other people, but I do have a really like diverse array of knowledge, and I'm always trying to learn more about different things so that I can be capable in different things. So I have a big philosophy about self-sufficiency versus having people help you versus spending money on different things for people to help you, and I can go into that in a different video. But for me, like DIY really means learning stuff for yourself and then learning how to apply that in different contexts so that you can sort of have a very broad range of knowledge of stuff and are able to figure out a lot of stuff for yourself as life goes on. Does that make sense?
And if English isn't your first language, we should clarify that DIY stands for do it yourself in English, and it's a pretty common acronym.
Yeah. The last question is, what do you watch on YouTube?
Man, listen to that horn! the excited train guy.
Oh, that's a great one.
We'll
Every
link it
day
down below.
watch the video.
Heritage equipment. Oh, so many things. What don't we watch on YouTube? Well, we really like.
Well, I don't watch quite a lot of stuff on YouTube. So.
Well, I really like our friends channel.
One Big Happy.
One Big Happy
We should
is
give a
great.
great shout out to
Yeah.
them. They are awesome. We know them in real life. Is that okay to say?
IRL.
So if you watch our channel, you would super love their channel. I watch a really eclectic mix of stuff.
We watch so much on YouTube.
I watch weird stuff, like I'm trying to think of some of my favorite YouTube channels right now. I really like techie videos, so I like the 8-Bit Guy right now is a really fun channel. I like Tech Moans, like really obscure technology stuff. I like funny channels. I like the Slingshot channel. That guy's awesome.
I like this woman called Darcy Isabella, who is a minimalist and has 10 kids and homeschools them, and she's just got like a really sweet channel in life.
I really like the Hydraulic Press channel.
Hydraulic Press!
That guy is great. Cody's Lab. I like woodworking channels.
I think we both we subscribe to different types of channels. I like minimalism. I like a girl named Sarah Norse, who has a pretty good channel about travel and minimalism.
Cinemassacre, I like that. It's like one of my very first YouTube subscriptions. James Rolfe, that guy is really awesome. The Angry Video Game Nerd, but he does a lot of other stuff. I could go on and on.
We have very different profiles.
Cool, guys. Well, thank you so much for the subscriptions. I hope you have enjoyed our previous content. We're going to make more content about stuff that we like. And
if you have suggestions for videos that you'd like to see us make, please comment down below. We're happy to make a video for you. And thank you so much for joining us on our journey.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you next time.